He jabbed me again, and it hurt, but I was determined to exercise my will. At the dock, a speedboat maybe 35 feet long, with 3 massive outboard engines, the kind of boat used for drug running, was waiting. 4 or 5 frightened hostages were already sitting on the floor of the boat. Martin, still shirtless, let out a sigh of relief. "Oh, I'm so glad to see you," he said. "Did anybody hurt you?" No, I just had to get dressed." Naturally, he was without his contact lenses, which made his vision a blur. As I sat next to Martin in the boat, we watched as others began to arrive from the various cabins. Dawn was just starting to paint the eastern sky. Some of the people started showing up with suitcases. One rather chic-looking couple came not only with suitcases, but also with a big cooler of water. My goodness, I thought to myself, I really didn't have to run out of the room so fast. I stood up and announced, "I'm going to go get Martin a shirt." "Sit down," barked one of the captors. "We'll get him a shirt." I promptly obeyed, but I took notice of the fact that his English was quite good. We later learned that his name was Sulaiman. "I have our tsinelas here," I said to Martin, holding them up. I was really proud of myself. "Yeah," he said. We didn't put them on our feet, however. We just held them. Martin was quiet as he looked around the boat, first at the men with guns and then at the other hostages. I could tell that he was trying to size up the situation. This wasn't easy, however, since nearly everyone else was speaking languages we didn't understand. For the most part, we simply had to watch faces and listen to a person's tone of voice to figure out what he was saying. I glanced down and the shine of my wedding ring caught my eye. "These guys are not going to get my ring," I vowed. I pulled it off, along with the turquoise ring I was wearing on the other hand, and slipped them into my shorts pocket. "Don't you think you should give me your wedding ring?" I asked Martin. "Oh, no, we'll be fine," he answered, ever the optimist. "Are you sure?" "Yeah, it'll be okay." This whole romantic getaway at Dos Palmas Resort had been my idea, a fact that weighed heavily on my mind as I sat there shivering in the boat. It came about after Martin was offered a promotion with New Tribes Mission, the group with whom we had served in mission aviation for more than 15 years. The agency wanted him to become chief pilot for the entire organization, which would mean moving back to Arizona and overseeing all flight programs worldwide. Although he was flattered by the offer, Martin really didn't want the position. "I just want to be what I've always been, a line pilot," he told me. Martin was never happier than when he was flying the mission's little red and white Cessna into jungle airstrips, bringing groceries and medicine to our missionary colleagues, or helping ferry tribal people out to medical appointments. Nevertheless, Martin's extraordinary piloting and ability to work with people kept moving him higher up the organization's chain of management. In fact, he had turned down this promotion several times because our 3 kids were still young and he didn't want to do all the required traveling. I kept telling him, I don't want to move back to the States any more than you do. But the truth is, you're the right man for this position. You really are. I loved the Philippines, but to be honest, I didn't care where we were or what we were doing, as long as we were together. Martin would just smile and shake his head at me. About May 10th, Martin left for a 2-week trip to the United States so he could meet with the senior New Tribes leadership team. While he was away, the mission pilot on the western island of Palawan was called home due to a death in the family, leaving the island unmanned. Through email, Martin and I concluded that as soon as he returned, Martin should go to Palawan to fill in. After all, the missionaries in the tribes needed the flight service. My schedule was packed as well, but then, oddly enough, a couple of things canceled. I can go with him and help him out, I thought. Plus, with our wedding anniversary coming up on the 28th, if I went along, I could at least be with him on that day. Maybe we can even do something special while we're there. We've never had time to really enjoy the sights of Palawan. I called one of our co-workers on the island and asked her, "Where's a good place for Martin and me to celebrate our anniversary?" "Ooh, you should go to Dos Palmas," my friend said. "It's a wonderful resort on an island all its own. You can only get there by boat. The food is terrific, and they have 2 kinds of rooms, garden cottages on land and cottages on stilts over the water." "Okay, why don't you go ahead and book one for us for Saturday night the 26th, I said. After that, I arranged for our neighbors, Bob and Val Petro, to take care of the kids. I began cooking ahead and freezing some meals for them to eat while we were